All right, let's see why fast food sucks now from Patrick CC. I haven't watched him in a minute actually. Yeah, yeah. Hi YouTube, as he's saying.
Fast food locations with the logos removed, and I want to see if you can guess which restaurant it is.
All
Here
right.
is number 1.
What is this? What is this? I mean, looking from the door, that's Panda Express, right? It looks like a panda, right? That's gotta be Panda Express.
That is Panda Express.
Exactly, Panda Express. I can tell because the door. He left the door branding on. And it's crazy because I just had Panda Express for the first time in my life 5 days ago. For the first time ever, 5 days ago. It was alright, but the orange chicken is probably what carries it all.
Here is number 2.
That's gotta be McDonald's? McDonald's? It's gotta be McDonald's, right? Did you just say Target? Let's play the video.
That is Arby's.
Arby's. Fuck you said Arby's. I've never had Arby's. Well, no, I had the Good Burger meal. That's the only thing I've ever eaten from Arby's. Who the fuck eats at Arby's though?
Here is number 3.
Okay, this has to be McDonald's, right? That has to be McDonald's. I'm gonna spam
That
McDonald's.
is Burger King.
How the fuck is that Burger King? Burger King usually has the big the king dude face on the thing, right? That building is bland as hell. That can't be. That can't be. Arby's ain't that bad. I don't know. I don't try their food normally, so I couldn't tell you.
Here is number 4. That is Wendy's. Fast food restaurants in America have
Damn, all fast food look the same.
completely lost their identity. But it doesn't stop at these soulless gray buildings. Fast food used to be cheap, tasty, and most importantly, fast. And on top of that, the experience used to be fun.
I've never seen a McDonald's that looks like that, ever. That's got to be like from the 90s. It has to be. I've never seen a McDonald's that looks anything similar to this. Most of the McDonald's, a lot of McDonald's I've seen don't even have the little M sign out front. You just have McDonald's on the front.
Today, the color is gone. The prices for a meal are almost the same as a regular restaurant.
Big Mac, $20, almost $20 for a Big Mac meal.
And the
Well, they
service
tax it.
is slower than ever. But this did not happen by accident. In fact, it's all by design. And today I'm going to break down why fast food today is colorless, expensive, and slow. And while it might sound like all hope is lost, there is something you
But
can do to
somehow they
change
still make
it. And if
minimum
enough
wage
of
in
us
there.
do that, we just might be able to return to the glory days. Modern American fast food buildings are the perfect representation of the soul that's been sucked out of the industry. What used to be these creative architectural fun houses have transformed into sterile gray boxes that are severely lacking identity. Some of them kind of look like modern homes, some of them look like banks, some of them just look like corporate offices. But when you remove the logo, you genuinely could not tell what restaurant it was. Compare that to what this architectural illustrator posted on Reddit. Even without the logos, you can still
Hmm. The third one's McDonald's. I know that. The third to the right is McDonald's. I think the one next to that one on the right is White Castle's. And then the bottom row, the first one on the bottom row, it's either Sonic or it's Checkers and Rallies. Or it could be the other one, Steak and Shake.
tell which building belongs to each fast food brand. Or can you? I'll see if in the comments one of you gets all 12 correct. Early Taco
Yeah,
Bell
I got
locations
something
were
wrong.
designed to evoke the look and feel of traditional
Yeah, that's got to be 90s. That has to be 90s. I mean, the camera quality, they actually put thought into it. That has to be the 90s.
Traditional Spanish and Mexican style architecture. The original buildings featured stucco walls, red clay tile roofs, exposed wooden
What about
beams,
that
and
bell, though?
arched entryways. Now, you get a gray box with a modern purple LED light. Pizza Hut's red roof became such an iconic part of their design that now, when a new business takes over the building and attempts to redesign, everyone knows it used to be a Pizza Hut. But today's Pizza Hut? Yep, another gray box. McDonald's used to have these big glowing arches you could see from a mile away.
Yeah, never 15 cent. It has to be the 90s. Probably the 80s. Look at these cars. Sold over 1 million hamburgers. 15 cent for anything doesn't exist today. You can't even breathe for 15 cent.
I was surprised to find out that there are still a few locations that maintain that 1960s vintage look.
60s, that's even further back.
Take this Bloomington, Minnesota location for example. It still has the massive arches on each side, the red and white striped bricks around the edges, and red outline gives it this cartoonish but welcoming vibe. But sometime in 2023, they decided to get rid of all that
It's rated perfectly. Not too good, not too bad. The fries kind of addictive. It's all right.
charm and paint it gray. During McDonald's nationwide boom in the 1970s, they made a major rebrand to build locations faster. The red mansard roofs with the yellow accents that were supposed to resemble French fries is what most people remember visiting throughout their childhood. There are still a few locations out there that haven't been modernized. This one in Dunedin, Florida looks absolutely beautiful with the palm trees and the bright blue sky. Or check out this stunning Durham, North Carolina location.
Stunning. I don't know about stunning. Probably better than the basic ones, but stunning is kind of overselling it.
This photo was taken in 2021, but it looks like we took a time machine back to 1993. Sadly,
You're pushing it, Patrick. Don't push it.
this one was also painted entirely gray in 2024. Even this
Ah,
location outside of Disney World looked like a theme
something like this. Something like that. That grimace right there.
park of its own, and I'm sad to admit that this creative masterpiece has been replaced by what looks like a corporate
Sad.
headquarters. Now, one of the main reasons behind the gray box trend is that it's a safer, smarter real estate investment. This strategy leans heavily on modular construction and prefab standardized architecture. When a previous brand needed a very specific build out, which usually came down to their custom roofs, it just costs more. And in a
I don't
way,
know.
they're also
I don't know.
preparing for their imminent failure because these vague buildings can be transformed into just about any other business. In New Jersey, this Wendy's was transformed into a Burger King. In Missouri, this old Burger King was turned into a Wendy's. This former Taco Bell KFC combo was turned into a local pharmacy. And this former Arby's is now a local pizzeria. And to no surprise at all, the local pizzeria made a more charming and visually interesting design. Now, my favorite is when chains actually do the
I don't know about that. I don't really know about charming. Individually, yeah. Charming, I mean, it's different. I give it that.
more charming and visually interesting design. Now, my favorite is when chains actually do the opposite of this, when they repurpose an old building, like this old bank in Wilmington, North Carolina that was transformed into a Dunkin' Donuts. It's undeniably smarter and probably more sustainable to build buildings that can outlive the brand inside them, which will in turn reduce waste and provide opportunity to future businesses. But there's just something sad about it too. Each restaurant lost all its character, but it's not just the exterior that lost its character. The interior is where many of these places thrived. Stepping inside used to feel like entering a little world of its own. Taco Bell had these purple and teal Art Deco chairs, textured wall tiles, and neon squiggles that felt like walking through a 90s arcade. People today would probably call this tacky, and they might not be wrong, but damn, it has an identity. But before we dive deeper, the other day I wasted hours trying to cancel all those
And
subscriptions
I
I
didn't.
forgot about. Luckily, today's
Yep,
sponsor,
I
Rocket
know.
Money, is here to help. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal
Well, being out as it, I already use Racking Money. I can legally skip this ad since I already use it. So,
Save more and spend less. Join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/PatrickCC or click the link in the description
cap.
to get
What you mean cap? I have Rocket. Oh, ain't no cap. I have Rocket Money. Calling me cap. I ain't got rocket money. I got rocket money. Read it in wheat, buddy. Right there. Rocket money. I'll never lie. I never lie. Ever. I'm honest Abe, but better.
Started for free. Wendy's had an immaculate 1970s grandma aesthetic. Wood-paneled walls, stained glass
Wait, what is
lamps,
this?
immaculate PC, or click the link in the description to get started
Yeah, click the link in the description.
for free. Wendy's had an immaculate
Wendy's.
1970s grandma aesthetic.
I'd
Wood-paneled
I'd kill to see a Wendy's like this.
walls, stained glass lamps hanging above every table, plush burgundy booths, and soft yellow lighting that made it feel more like a cozy living room than a fast food
That's somebody standing right there. I don't know why. This doesn't feel welcoming to me at least.
joint. And these sunrooms, dude, these sunrooms absolutely ripped. Pizza Hut felt like a legit sit-down restaurant with thick carpeting, red vinyl booths, and those iconic Tiffany-style lamps that turned every meal into a dimly lit occasion. McDonald's had burger seats. Look at these burger seats. Are they a little terrifying? Sure, but I think we can all agree that we want them back. And when management started encouraging a more kid-friendly atmosphere, almost every franchisee built massive playgrounds and indoor sets packed with massive tubes, nets, and ball pits to play in while the adults got to enjoy their meal.
That's got to be unsanitary as hell, though. Like, let's be honest. Kids eating food, then going right to the ball pit, and we know they ain't wash their hands either. So
However, for years, McDonald's had been dealing with injury lawsuits where kids hurt themselves climbing around rope ladders and monkey bars. In a 5-year span alone from 1986 to 1990,
how was that their fault? I mean, I know it happened on their property, but like at the same time, they're designed the way they're designed. That's like getting injured at a local park and then suing the city because your child fell off the monkey bars or went down a slide and it burnt his butt.
1,500 injury claims were filed against McDonald's when kids fell off their equipment or got trapped in one of their structures. Hundreds, if not thousands,
Okay, I can see that part.
of injuries went unreported, and not to mention the sanitation concerns. Even as a kid, I knew those things were filthy. Some places have still tried to hang on to that old school charm well into the 2020s. I found this 1950s retro diner inspired McDonald's location in Williamsburg, Virginia. They have a whole ass 1957 Chevy on the inside just parked in the middle of the restaurant. This beautiful time capsule location was, you guessed it, grayed out and turned into another modernized hospital cafeteria a few years ago. A location
That's
in
sad.
Bensonhurst, Brooklyn was redesigned to a 1980s theme for a
Is this just a McDonald's video? It feels like just a McDonald's video.
Marvel movie, and to no surprise at all, everyone loves it. And even though it still doesn't look like a true time capsule, it's just enough retro and modern combined to give the place a lot more soul. And if you're watching this and you have a fast food location near you that still has some old school charm, drop it in the comments because I want to see. But the blueprint for the
Sadly,
modern
I
fast
don't.
food gray box, the minimalism, the neutral tone textured wallpaper, the IKEA chairs that hurt to sit in, the inoffensive abstract art, the dim industrial lighting, it can all be blamed on Chipotle. Chipotle's early 2000s expansion marked a turning point in the fast food industry. Their concept was called fast casual. You still got your food
Chipotle.
quickly, but the experience felt more elevated. The menu was simple,
I don't
the
eat Chipotle
ingredients
like
were
that.
marketed as fresher, and the interiors ditched the kid-friendly chaos in favor of something more modern. Because of this, they were able to charge a higher price, and teenagers, college kids, and young professionals were more than willing to pay. But they weren't just paying for vibes. Those 2010s Chipotle burritos were massive. You used to get at least 2 servings of food for one
Damn.
price, which made it comparable to 2 fast food trips. Chipotle's success came at a time when McDonald's and other giants were on a rapid decline. In 2003, McDonald's stock price fell to a
Burritos is fat as hell.
9-year low, and in Q4 of 2023 was the first net loss in profits they ever had, losing $344 million. Public pressure around junk food intensified during this period. The Super Size Me documentary further tarnished the company's brand. The doc followed
I
Morgan
remember that.
Spurlock, who ate at McDonald's restaurants 3 times a day, every day for a month, consuming every item on the chain's menu at least once. At the end of the experiment, the 32-year-old had gained 24.5 pounds, a 13% body mass increased his cholesterol to dangerous levels, and became the proof the media needed to paint fast food as the face of America's obesity.
I never really got that though, because it's not like the typical person could even afford to eat fast food every day. No one's eating. I don't even like any type of food that much to eat it every single day.
Crisis. So while McDonald's scrambled to repair its image, Chipotle was thriving, offering a cleaner, simpler, healthier experience that looked and felt like the opposite of everything fast food had become. In response, McDonald's started the Forever Young campaign to transform the playground feel into a cafe-style space. What resulted was a push for a more contemporary aura, accented by terracotta, olive, and gray colors paired with wooden
You ate that
furniture.
like
Of
2 years ago.
course, other fast food restaurants saw this change and followed
I don't think
suit.
it was
I
some
also
food though.
believe that the success of Starbucks and maybe even the Apple Store had a big impact on the aesthetics of fast food chains.
The Apple
Starbucks
Store.
proved that people would pay a premium price to hang around in a space that felt upscale, and Apple taught the entire retail world that an ultra minimalist design could signal trust and quality. Today, seemingly every fast food chain takes a little bit of inspiration from Chipotle, Starbucks, and the Apple Store, which has majorly contributed to them losing what made them special in the first place. Fast food restaurants were meant to be bold, fun, and kid-friendly, or even calm and cozy sit-downs for the family. But designers Lynn Rosenbaum and Michael Muchoff told the YouTube channel Cheddar that the design choices are nothing more than a marketing tactic.
We have to be perceived as new and fresh and offering food that is new and fresh. What has changed within our restaurant? We want to communicate that to the customer on the outside, and the easiest way to do that is through architecture and interior design.
How can we make it look
So be lame, basically. It means be lame. What he's saying is basically how you draw people in is you be lame. You do the same thing everyone else is doing. Clearly, that's the method.
healthier, but not actually make it healthier? That's basically the gist. I don't think any logical person is expecting fast food to be healthy, but the risk used to be worth the reward. Because beyond the building design and modern branding, it seems like they aren't even trying to make the food look or taste good anymore. The burgers aren't even close to as advertised, with buns flat as a pancake and lettuce that looks like it was left out all night. Places like KFC refuse to change the oil in their fryers, so you can't even taste the chicken anymore. And those so-called
Wait,
crispy fries,
they do what now?
a pancake and lettuce that looks like it was left out all night. Places like KFC refuse to change the oil in their fryers, so you can't even taste the chicken anymore.
What? Is that not basic practice? We got to change the oil in our fryers at my job. I work at a nursing home and we have to change the oil in our fryers there. And they don't have to do it in their restaurant chain. They don't even make any. I ain't gonna question it. I'm not even gonna question it.
Anymore. And those so-called crispy fries you ordered looked like they were defrosted, placed under a heat lamp, and served without anyone noticing they missed a crucial step. Even legendary YouTuber The Report of the Week, who has spent the past decade reviewing fast food menu items, just about had a meltdown over the decline in quality and service across every big chain in the US after countless bad experiences in 2023.
Instances not as bad as this, but where there have been problems with my order, with the quality. It's just elapsing more and more. And it's not just Culver's. It's every place. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, you name it. There have been so many places, and I'm sure you've noticed this, that I've reviewed in the last couple years, where the food has just been awful. It's quite frankly disgusting. I hate when this happens. And what bothers me even more is when it's becoming more and more of the norm. When I'm trying out these sorts of items, and time and again, it's some burnt piece of garbage. It's some just vile slop, for lack of a better word. And it's getting to the point now where pretty much every other item that I review is just, it's disgusting in some way or another. Or it's just so overpriced that it might be alright, but it's like you're burning your money. What's even the point?
But even if fast food companies lost the fun, lost the undeniable guilty pleasure
You mean Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory? Because that's who he reminds me of.
taste, at least it's still cheap, right? Nope.
No.
Chick-fil-A, Arby's, Wendy's, Jimmy John's, Chipotle, Taco Bell, Popeyes, and McDonald's all raised their prices by 55 to 100% between 2014 and 2024. Most of us can remember a time where $5 could fill you up at most restaurants. Maybe you'd snag a couple of grillers or a fill-up box from Taco Bell, a McDouble, McChicken, and fries, a famous bowl from KFC, and even if you wanted to get full meals, you'd still spend less than $10. What I found shocking is that Columbus, Ohio has the most affordable fast food in the country, but meals still cost $10 on average.
Who wants to go to Ohio though? One fuck's in Ohio. Nothing's in Ohio.
Most cities average 12 to 13 bucks for a fast food meal, and I can say with certainty, at least where I live, that there are plenty of local restaurants serving way better food for $13. Some McDonald's locations were charging as high as $18 for a Big Mac meal. In 2024, the McDonald's president Joe Erlinger attempted to address many of the concerns that Americans had with McDonald's prices significantly rising. What's funny is that they made this graphic that claims to debunk a bunch of myths.
Let's see, false. McDonald's overall 5-year price increases are closely connected to the increases of costs to run restaurants, which have gone up. This includes increases in restaurant crew salaries up to 40% since 2019 from data accessible. Food paper costs, also known as cost of goods, up to 35% since 2019. Otherwise said, the average input cost, salaries, food, and paper, are up to 40% over the past 5 years. The average price of McDonald's menu items have gone up to 40% over the past 5 years. The myth is McDonald's raised prices at a rate nearly double the national rate of inflation.
While claiming
If you want to read this, I'll just pause it and then you can read it yourself. I'm not gonna go through every single last one of them.
that the facts state that they have only raised their prices by 20 to 40% since 2019. Like they put this obnoxious claim as a myth. McDonald's medium fries increased by 138%, just to attempt to soften the blow when they say that the fact is that the average price of a medium fries was a 44% increase. Like we're supposed to be like, oh, only a 44% increase for fries that are soggy, cold, and take 20 minutes to get? That's so much better than 138%. The reality is that fast food has entirely changed its value proposition to customers in America. It's no longer about being cheap, it's about being lazy. A professor of marketing at Johns Hopkins said, "These chains are not charity organizations. They're not trying to serve cheap food to people who are complaining about high prices. They're trying to get people who have either stopped going to the store or never went there." I suspect the value pricing approach is working for McDonald's. Okay. So, they killed the vibes, ruined the taste, charge way too much money. Is it at least still fast? Well,
Nope.
kinda. The speed of service has drastically decreased as
It's not fast. It's not. Depending on how many people there, you can be waiting like 15 minutes for one order, depending on the size. I mean, it's reasonable, but like, it's not fast.
Americans become more dependent on the drive-thru. America runs on urgency. Our cities are built to drive around.
What fucking city is that? Is that LA? God damn.
Not stop and hang out in. Our work weeks are packed, our commutes are long, and our breaks are short. Everything in our culture tells us to move faster, work more, and consume more. So we designed an entire meal experience around not having to stop moving. Pull up in your car, order before you speak to a person, get your food in a brown bag, and don't even look inside until you're already merging onto the highway. And stuff the fries down your throat with one hand while the other is on the wheel. Drive-thrus aren't about convenience. They're a survival mechanism for a society that doesn't have time to sit down. But now even that convenience is starting to collapse. What used to be a 3 to 5 minute pit stop has turned into a 15+ minute wait behind a line of frustrated drivers. Even places like In-N-Out are facing major problems, with lines that literally cause traffic on the highways.
I didn't like In-N-Out when I first had it. I think it might have been because I was high in Las Vegas when I first had it. But like, it probably is because I could feel the food going down my throat. And I nearly threw up. That might be on me. I might have to give it a fair try again someday.
is next to them. Pretty much every Chick-fil-A I've ever been to around lunchtime has 2 rows of 20 plus cars bumper to bumper. Many locations are trying to combat these frustrating wait times by having staff walk around with iPads so you can get that somewhat satisfaction that your order is being taken care of, but it doesn't make the food come out any faster. Now you might think that removing drive-thrus in some locations or incentivizing walk-ins would somehow speed things up.
It
But
wouldn't.
fast food restaurants have done their homework. Research shows that 47% of US consumers would simply avoid going to a store that doesn't have a drive-thru, and twice as many people prefer using the drive-thru to going in store. And that's because of the American go 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 culture, as well as us not prioritizing eating as a meaningful experience.
And some places just have bad service inside too. A lot of motherfuckers be rude for no reason. And you can't say nothing back to them because they're making your food. And you don't want some dude putting his nuts on your burger. So, the lose-lose.
It's just another task to check off the list. Meals in other countries are a cultural staple, a time to slow down, talk, share, and connect. Americans treat eating as something you do out of necessity between meetings, in traffic, or while staring at your phone. And I'm talking to you, who's literally eating a meal while watching this right now.
Actually, Patrick, I was eating earlier and then I stopped before we got to the video. I'm just drinking juice now. So,
The obsession with quick service, combined with fast food's obsession with margins, is slowly turning these restaurants into massive robotic garages, like this concept released by Taco Bell in 2022 for their new vision for making service easier than ever.
it's just a bank. There's literally a Chase Bank that looks just like this. And it's like like 15 minutes away from here.
Before, where the new designs Chick-fil-A is rolling out that prioritize quick service.
That's a bank, bro. What? That is a bank. This doesn't even look like a restaurant.
Or Jimmy John's cutting down the size of their restaurant to resemble more of a studio apartment. To make it even more streamlined, restaurants are releasing AI menu stands that replace human staff members, and the responses have been mixed, with some customers praising the decision and others arguing this is one step further in the wrong direction. So correct orders and no more attitudes for no reason? More jobs with human contact are going away. With fast food restaurants doing everything they can to make service seamless and Americans demanding even more convenience, how far away are we from a robotic arm extending from a building and just dumping the food right into our mouths? But as grim as the future looks, there is a way to fight this.
We're
There is a
heading
way
straight to
to
Wally,
demand
bro.
change,
Right
get
to
better
Wally.
quality food, better prices, better speeds, and an all-around better experience. The
Papa John.
solution is quite simple, and it's being implemented all over the world. Fast food is better outside of America, not just by opinion, but by design. Many nations have stricter regulations on food quality, preservatives, and sourcing. In places like Japan, France, or Germany, the ingredients are often fresher, the portions are more balanced, and the presentation is far more respectful of the dining experience.
You probably could use a way better picture than that. She looks kind of creepy.
But this change didn't necessarily happen out of respect, it was by force. Like in France, when 5 activist farmers tore down a McDonald's that was being built in the southern town of Malau in August 1999. They handed out Roquefort cheese
They
at
weren't
the
having it.
protest, which they said was to denounce US import restrictions and hormone-treated beef. But this was a calculated attack. In that same week, French farmers dumped 6 tons of manure on a McDonald's restaurant in Arles. This was a symbol of resistance against American food imperialism and the spread of unhealthy, standardized meals. And it wasn't just about the food, they were defending culture, agriculture, and tradition. And it worked. French consumers began demanding locally sourced ingredients, and McDonald's responded. Today, around 75% of the food served in McDonald's France is sourced domestically. Now, this doesn't mean go and destroy your local McDonald's, but it is proof that a protest goes a long way. Also, McDonald's Europe became
Not in this country, though.
the first food service retailer in many markets to sell Marine Stewardship Council certified sustainable fish. The MSC is widely considered the gold standard certification for sustainable wild-caught seafood, because if they did not meet these standards, then European countries would simply not allow them to serve fish. In India, they mostly don't serve beef or pork items due to religious.
Yeah, they don't eat any sort of. You fuck with a cow in India, you liable to get shot. Pretty sure they value cows more than they value people.
Values held by the citizens. In China, they serve taro pies. Taro is a plant native to Southeast Asia whose roots and leaves are used for food in this region. In Saudi Arabia, 100% of their menu must be halal. Therefore, all products served at McDonald's restaurants are inspected and approved by local authorities and Islamic inspectors at the countries of export. The point is, McDonald's and other fast food restaurants will abide by socio-cultural, religious, food preferences, and environmental factors, or they will simply not be allowed to serve food in that country. And they might even complement the country with a vibey atmosphere. They'll serve food in decommissioned planes in New Zealand,
So we don't get this, but they get that.
a colorful building pagoda in China, or a ski up in Sweden. The end result: better service, better food, better vibes, and customers who treat eating
Papa John's.
as something worth sitting down for. All of these point to the fact that fast food restaurants can still be colorful, fun, cheap, and have the best quality food available for their meals. It's just that they only change when people finally start to walk away. This is not the answer you want, but it is the truth. Sure, the buildings are gray and bland. Sure, the service is slow. Sure, the food doesn't taste as good and corporate greed is driving up the price. But you can protest. You can just stop going. And they will be forced to resort back to the things that made these restaurants special in the first place. But until most of us refuse to order from these fast food restaurants, then nothing is going to
Is that an emo
change.
John Cena? I haven't ate any sort of fast food. Well, I did just eat it, but before that, hadn't ate fast food in like 4 or 5 months. I rarely eat fast food these days, anyway. Once I got the money to get, once I had McDonald's money, I didn't want McDonald's. So crazy how that worked, huh?